Hello. Sorry, it's just fixing the camera. This is a fun camera angle today, but we're going to just kind of roll with it. How do we get those scales in balance so the Libras in the room don't freak out? All right, we have a bunch of you waiting already, so let me say some quick hellos and then we'll get started. Simon, first one in today with Sandra close behind. Hello, my friends. Elle's here. Hello, my darling daughter. We have the Stillness in Fire. Hello, welcome. Is this your first time here? Or a name change or something? Jenna's here. Hello, my dear friend. Water Child Tarot. Hi, Sarah. Let's see, who else do we have here? Elle's here. Okay, we said that. Patrice jumping in the shower. Well, if anybody saw my interview, why does it jump so far down? If anybody saw my interview that I did with, I think it was when I was with Rochelle and I talked about watching YouTube from the shower. So I get that. Powell's Tarot Tent, hello. We have not had the Hierophant yet, or the Pope, I don't believe. No. Jilly, hello, my tarot sister. Elemental Cartomancy, hello, Chris. Let's see, Sage Advice Shared, hi. Let's see, scrolling. Crohn's Intuition, hello. Everybody's having lovely days. Buddy managed to get trash all over the house, Julie. Oh dear, what a naughty boy. Hi, Kathy. Nice to see you. Becca's here. Hi, Becca. Jackie. Hi, Jackie. Kimberly. Hello. So glad you're not doing cleanup activities. Let's see, who else do we have? Selkie's here. Hi. Oh no, jumpy chat again. Let's see. There we go. Selkie. And then we have Robin. Hi, Robin. Hen's awake. Good morning. It's very early. Sue's here. Hi. Quiet bit here. That's all right. It's nice to have you here. Psychically yours. Let's see. Am I missing anyone? Susie. Hi, Susie. Oh, jumped. Yes, we have that in common. Liminal Lark. Hello. Apoorva's here. Hi. Nice to see you. Jonathan. Aloha. Thanks for the video, Jonathan. And then right after that, I watched the response that Sadhana did to my tag, and she said a really similar quote about how we're guests here on Earth. So I thought that was interesting. Next weekend. All right, well, let's enjoy this weekend while you've got it, right? Okay, Wolf Meets Witch is here, but then retracted. Was that you, Elle, or is that Shane? What's happening? Let's see. Elle was in the wrong account. Okay, shoot. I think Shane is camping today, so I don't think we'll see him. Inked Witchy Girl, hello. My gosh, the Toke Witch. Zane's back. Hi. Okay. Did I say hi to everybody who's here? If I missed you, I'm sorry. The chat jumps as I'm scrolling, which is really annoying, but it did make me feel better when I watched the Tarot Times yesterday, and I saw that Elle said the same thing. She's like, the chat jumped. I'm like, okay, it's not just me. So does anybody have any predictions for today? In the meantime, last week we had the Three of Cups, which I was so excited to see and was so perfect for this week, in my opinion. Okay, we've got the Magician, Wands, the Tower. And Patrice and Elle have been waiting for the Tower. I think Shane has as well. This actually played out for me. The Three of Cups played out perfectly. It was Shane's 25th birthday on Thursday. So he and Oliver, his partner, and I all spent a good part of the day together on Thursday, and then they stayed over and we spent the day together on Friday as well. But we went out for dinner and we got a bottle of Prosecco. For those who don't know what that is, it's like a sparkling wine. And we raised 3 glasses, and I was like, oh, we are the Three of Cups. We were literally the Three of Cups this week, which was awesome. And it was really fun to get to spend time with them. So I spent a lot of the week being just really grateful for the friendships and relationships that I have. I don't know about any of you, but hopefully you had a good week. We had a very quiet week in Tarot Playdate. We probably have fewer of these cards. I guess, you know, people usually share their pictures and stuff, and it was real quiet. So maybe we were all busy. Maybe we were all appreciating the relationships and spending less time online. Let's call it that, shall we? So Elle says, it came up for me, but I can't remember why. Well, clearly it was memorable then, right? Sandra saw her brother and nieces, very Three of Cups. Hi, Elizabeth. Let's see. Anybody else speaking on me? Simon really wants that Hermit to come out. And it was your card of the day, right, Simon? Okay, so before we draw our card, though, we have to do as we always do. And sorry, I need to hydrate today, although I don't know that tea really does that, but let's just pretend it does. And I need to gather a list of 5 questions that we want to use our card of the week to answer this week. As always, if you put it in all caps for me, then I am likely to see it. And I know last week we had a bunch, or at least a few extra questions beyond the 5. So if you're here and you want to bring them back, today's the day. Elizabeth said, no 3 of Cups for me this week. Simon said, I had 2 new team members to bond with, so very 3 of Cups. Yes, yes, yes. Mandy, welcome back. We've missed you too. It's nice to have you here. Psychically Yours has a question for us. All right, I've got my handy dandy pen ready to go with, let's see. Oh my gosh. Oh, there it is. How does Spirit let us know we are on the right track? That's a really interesting one. How does Spirit let us know we're on the right track? That how in the question is going to be really interesting. On the right track. Thank you. All right. And then we have Sage Advice Shared. How will this week's card help us become more introspective rather than venting to fam and friends? And I can call you Amy. Well, hi, Amy. I'm going to try really, really hard to remember that. Okay, so Amy/Sage Advice. It's a good name, Sage Advice. How can we become, I shortened it just a little bit for my note taking, more introspective rather than venting. So maybe more productive with our with our thoughts rather than venting with our family and friends. Okay. Maybe not everybody needs to do that, but I feel like probably a lot of us can relate to wanting to find healthier ways to deal with stuff than just venting. Let's see, from Elemental Cardamancy, so from Chris. For those who don't know, that is Chris Kelly's new channel name, and he launched his first video in response to the Balance the Deck Scales hashtag. So if you haven't gone and checked it out, you can see he finally launched his own channel. So this is a little shout out for you here, Chris, while we're at it. I mean, I might as well kill time while I'm writing, right? What advice do the cards have for us to make the best of our creative endeavors this week? Oh, I like that too. I really need to be embracing my creative endeavors right now because I don't really have any. So, okay. That's question number 3. And then from Jonathan, oh, I think I might have 5 now then. Okay, so from Jonathan, how can we lean into the change and make it work for us? Okay. Jonathan, how can we lean into change and make it work for us? Always a tricky thing sometimes, isn't it? Even if you like change, it can still be hard sometimes. Okay, and from Inked Witchy Girl, hi T-Cat, nice to see you. If I missed anyone coming in while I was writing questions, big hello, nice to see everyone. Oh, we got a good crowd going today. Inked Witchy Girl. Thank you so much for bringing your questions, everyone. This playdate would be broken without you. As one who spends so much time caring for others, how can I learn to do more self-care? Okay, so I'm going to turn that into, if you don't mind, how can we learn to do more self-care? Because even those who sometimes are good about it can always use more advice. I hope you don't mind me twisting that just a tiny bit. Okay, so, no, you're the star, Chris. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, and Jenna had, what can keep us motivated this week? Bring that back for me next week. Because I really need to stop procrastinating. Okay. Oh, Becca had a question further up that I missed a question from Becca. How can we spread joy this week? Oh, shoot. I totally missed that, Becca. Okay, will you bring that back to me next week? I'm so sorry. I try not to miss them. Thank you, Sandra, for pointing that out. I might throw it at the end here since I missed it. We'll see if we have time. Because spreading joy is always really important. But if not, we'll bring it back next week. Okay, so let me get caught up. Swap mine for Becca's. I got a question last week. Are you sure, Chris? And actually, they're pretty similar. All right, we'll do that. So thank you, Chris. That was very sweet of you. So we'll do that one as 3, that one as 4. Sorry, I really try to catch those caps, but sometimes that jumpy chat really throws me. Okay, so, all right, stillness and fire, bring that one back. We had a lot of questions today. All right, you guys are ready for some tarot. All right, I'm gonna do one more sip of tea and then I will shuffle. Okay. All right, look at this. You guys are spreading joy already. All right, let's read these questions as I shuffle here. So from Psychically Yours, how does Spirit let us know we're on the right track? From Amy at Sage Advice Shared, how can we become more introspective rather than venting to family and friends, or maybe being less productive with our thoughts and words? That was my little add-on there. Jonathan, how can we lean into change and make it work for us? From Inked Witchy Girl, how can we learn to do more self-care? Whoopsie, come on, we can do this. This deck is slimmer, which makes it harder to shuffle. Uh-oh, and we don't need to accidentally put anyone on timeout, even though Elle is saying tower, 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 tower. And then from Becca, thanks to me almost missing it. How can we spread joy this week? We don't want to miss the chance to spread joy, do we? Hi, Gracia. Welcome in. Elizabeth, I don't know if I said hi to you, but if I didn't, hello. If not, I did. Double hello. All right. How does Spirit let us know we're on the right track? Heck, whoa! Oh, I just bent the holy heck out of a card. That's not cool. Okay, hold on. We have to do a quick swap out. Good thing I have a spare, because I just like killed the 4 of Pentacles. So we are going to pull our spare that we have for just this reason, because one time for a while, I think I lost the Knight of Cups. So I was like, oh, I need a spare deck for play date. All right, let's get the 4 of Pentacles in here again. And we'll deal with that. Now, Jen having dropsy shuffles or dropsies when shuffling does not count. How to handle my missteps. How does Spirit let us know we're on the right track? How can we become more introspective rather than venting? How can we lean into change to make it work for us? How can we learn to do more self-care? And how can we spread joy this week? All right, here we go. Watch, it'll probably be the freaking 4 of Pentacles. Won't that be hilarious? Not, somebody called the Magician right first out today. Who was that? I don't remember in the chat. We have our Magician, and today we are not going to forget to, oh, that was you, Sandra. We are not going to forget to also pull out our, this version from the melanated classic tarot because I almost missed that last week, which made me very sad, which, by the way, I edged in black this week, as was suggested, which looks fantastic if I do say so myself soon. But let's start with this guy, and then we have this guy too, but I want to kind of give us a chance to focus, and then we'll bring him back into the mix. All right, so initial thoughts. Cool, I drew this morning. Smiley faces, tools, lots of yays. And now we know why people have backups. Yes, exactly, Jonathan. Let's see. I was feeling the magician too, said Patrice. Zane said, this is my card. Let's see. Can I ask, what did you use to edge it? I used, actually for this one, I just used black Sharpie, actually. So, see, Patrice didn't really want the tower, which is why we didn't actually pull that one. Simon says, the time is now to take action. So I think, Jenna, you were asking, like, how can we stay motivated this week, right? So maybe this still answers your question a bit for you. All right, any other initial thoughts? And then let's get into kind of what we first think of when we see this card. What are the general meanings? And then I'll hold it up close a little bit later on so we can dive more into the symbols. Now I need to make sure I look at this the right way, because now this card I know pretty well, so it's easy for me to remember that this one's reversed. But Simon said, we can achieve incredible things if we commit, manifesting things we never thought possible. I think I saw that one. Now is the time to take action. Did I get them all? Did I miss any? Let's see. Nope, I don't think I missed any. I don't think. Magician equals power and manifestation. The magician is the beginning point, the first of everything. So whenever I see this, literally the first sentence that always comes to mind for me is, you have the tools to make magic happen, is sort of the phrase that is the first thing. I know it's very literal by what you see on the card, but I feel like it's always, often, I should say, not always, appropriate. Robin's like, no, look here, nope, look there, right? Little sleight of hand, little trickster sometimes with older representations of the magician, right? Becca, it's all at our own fingertips, right? We have the power, we have what we need, we have the resources, we have the know-how, right? All those things. Let's see. What else do we have here? I always think as above, so below. Yes, Sandra, right? Because of what's happening here with his hands in the direction of the energy from the, right, from the sky to the ground. I think that's typically how it's viewed as going. Kathy, allowing the energy to flow without blocking the things we don't want to deal with. Chris says, magician holds the potential of all of life's experiences. He's the active energy counterpart to high priest is passive, and his energy grabs the attention of everyone around him. Jonathan, the magician represents the first action or cause that sets the world into motion. All right, very early on in our journey through the majors here. Psychically yours, I always think of this as the witch card, even before I got a deck where it was called the witch card. Well, I can see that, right? Because this is the person who's doing the magic, right? And it's, yeah, to me, it's like Chris said, it's a very active card. This is not where we sit back and we rest. So the opposite of the hermit today, Simon, this is like, okay, we have to do things. We have to manifest. We have to take that action, which isn't action even one of the words in our, maybe not. Maybe I'm just making that up. Let's see. A trailblazer, says Al, carrying progressive solutions to survival, well-being, intuitive knowledge. Are your thoughts in your head spinning round and round? Are you referring to that because of the lemniscate above his head, Robin? The magician creates whatever it is he desires to create, says Jonathan. Everything around us is ripe for an important move forward in our lives. So talking about that change, right, that we're going to get to later. Jilly, strength and balance in his posture. It takes strength and balance to manifest. Ooh, I like that. TCAT, this card is believing yourself and knowing that you're talented enough to reach whatever you want. I also see this as someone living their life authentically, manifesting their reality. It's really interesting because a lot of people may think that the magician is putting on a bit of a front, right? But I love that take on it. Robin, be sure to set your table with all the tools you might need at hand. Yes. L, investigate the foundations of your intent. Wield your gifts and your learned skills into resources that heal and transform. The wishing well called it, yeah. Jonathan, in scientific terms, the magician represents kinetic energy, which an object possesses while in motion. The energy can't be destroyed, but only transferred into another form, right, or directed. Kathy, manifesting our consciousness. Simon says you can be a powerful, Simon says, sorry, just a moment. You can be a powerful figure in your own life if you want it and put your mind to it, right? You have the ability to control your destiny, your outcome, or make change. Let's see, did I miss anything else that anyone else said? Chris says, in terms of the fool's journey, the magus is the first person he meets. He magically opens the fool's napkin and shows him he already has the 4 things he needs. Let's see, Mendy says capitalization on circumstances, right? So being able to take advantage of those opportunities when they are presented and those tools are presented to you. Very goal-oriented. Yes, yes, yes. Jackie, conjuration, right? Success is psychically yours. Isn't this beautiful, this card? Sorry, I just love the colors that we see. I just want to make sure we get more of a chance to look at them. Success is psychically yours. Yes. So does anybody see this or tend to see this first? I know I've been kind of mentioning it a couple of times, but does anybody ever look at this and see something where somebody might be deceptive or might be tricking you, that kind of thing? Do we pull that often in RWS the way that we might? I feel like that comes up more in Tarot de Marseille, which I'm not trying to go down that road, but I'm just kind of wondering what y'all are thinking. Draped in power in the red, says Robin. Elle says Mercury influences mental analysis, instantaneous communication, from texting to telepathy, epiphanies, and aha moments, right? I feel like this too is kind of like that spiritual light bulb that goes off, right? That, you know, I know it represents something else, but it's like you see it right above his head. It's like, oh, I have that brilliant idea. Psychically yours says yes, a manipulator. Be very clear with your intentions. Did I read that out loud already? So Chris sees that more as a reversed meaning. Okay, so let's talk about that more when we get into those reversals. Red Bean B, hello. Need to get creative with your life and start your journey to success. Yes, you have everything you need already. Stop looking elsewhere, right? This to me definitely doesn't indicate that you should go looking for outside resources. It's kind of like you have everything at your disposal. Jilly says, I always think of the red in this card as groundedness. Sarah says, yes, I think those arm gestures can be misdirection, as Robin hinted at earlier, right? Like, look this way. No, look over here, right? Elizabeth, take advantage of this opportunity by staying focused on your goals and applying your power. Mendy, I always think of the magician as the trickster and someone who may misdirect for personal gain, right? It's like sometimes politicians, right? if they kind of get caught in something, they're like, but what about this over here? You know, that whole what aboutism, look over there. Don't focus on me right now. Focus on me later, right? Jonathan, the magician is associated with Hermes and Mercury. Hermes is the patron god of travelers, thieves, and liars. Hermes is clever and witty, which earns him a reputation of being a trickster. Yes. Elle says the Melanated Classic has become one of my favorites. Yes, I have been falling in love with this deck for sure. Practice makes better, right? So also you got to do the work. You have to apply the knowledge, right? And make things happen. It's not necessarily going to literally appear out of thin air. You're going to have to make it happen. Stillness and fire. Don't doubt yourself. You have the inner resources to achieve your objective. Elle says the magician is following the fool, as fools need his tools. There's a chance for the magician to take advantage of his place of power. Interesting. Okay, So let's take a closer look and dive into some of the symbols that we see in this card. And let me know if you see anything new that you've never noticed before. All right, so focus. There we go. Sorry, I'm shaky. We got the wand up there. Lemniscate. Headband. All right, his rope. Now, I think a lot of the times we can see that this looks much more like an Ouroboros than we're seeing in this particular version of the card. The sword, we still have the multiple colors to represent the two sides, right? The lilies and the roses. Ooh, look at the ornateness on the table there. Let's take a close look at that. That's kind of cool. All right. Jackie says the snake belt. Yeah, it doesn't really look like much of a snake in this particular version of the card. Let's look at this one. Let's just take a quick look, see if we see anything else. See, he's got a blue headband instead of white. Oh, now that one you can tell is an Ouroboros. That definitely looks like a snake with its tail and its mouth to me. We don't get the multicoloration of the sword in that one. We still get that ornateness on the table. Interesting, interesting. So what do you think? So one of the things that I really love about this card is the fact that we have all of the elements represented, which is always very cool to me because I feel like it's really embracing the full power of what we have available to us in the tower and in our arsenal, right, to get things done. All right, let's see what y'all have been saying while I was showing that here. So Simon said the serpentine girdle, like the horizontal 8 here, sign of infinity, lemniscate, but also repetition without end, shedding what is no longer wanted, the permanent need for renewal. Oh, let me pull this other one up. Why did I put him down? Okay, there we go. We got him back. All right, the power of a diader, the belt that bites itself. Boy, sometimes I wish mine would. Let's see, Jonathan, with all the four suits on the table, the magician is viewed as a jack of all trades type of person. He is very skilled and able to accomplish anything when given the right tools to work it. Oh yeah, don't let me forget. So I wanted to read from this little guidebook because I haven't been doing that, and I think it does offer some really cool stuff. Simon says the table markings, inheritance from the past. So here what we're talking about, right? Traditional mysteries and solutions, present challenges, and dormant treasures. Elizabeth says, yeah, the signs on the table I've never noticed before. And that's one of the things I haven't really picked up on either. I think I've pretty much picked up on most of this, but this is also one of the cards that I actually colored in my tarot coloring book by Teresa Reed. And so I was much more familiar with the symbols in this card than maybe some of the others because I had that up close look at it while I was coloring it. Jonathan says the snake serves two purposes. One, it represents Ophion, I don't know if I'm saying that right, who cracked open the cosmic egg. Two, it represents the Ouroboros, the self-eating snake and the first creature to be created into existence. Jackie says the signs are clear on the table. Earth, fire, air, question mark. Did you mean to leave out water? Or I guess or is it just that because they are there, they feel more represented? I'm not quite sure I follow, Jackie, so feel free to clarify for me and my understanding. Jilly says, Jonathan, I always thought of the magician like that. I never thought of him as someone who would take advantage of his power, right? That's an interesting twist on it. And so maybe that kind of comes into that reversal aspect as well. Jack of all trades equals Gemini. Yes, Amy. See. Mindy says, I think that comes from TBM, Jilly. It all starts meshing together when you lean into one school or another. So with regard to the taking advantage or coming back more to that abusive power thing, that's interesting. I didn't know that was more of a TDM thing. Jonathan says the Ouroboros is self-sustaining. It gives life to itself by consuming itself. To the Gnostics, the Ouroboros, okay, I don't need that little notification on my computer, thanks. Let's see here. To the Gnostics, the Ouroboros represents eternity, infinity, and constant creation. Okay, OneDrive, we don't need you right now. Nope, nope, good. Okay. TCAT, can't help it, but I always see that raised hand similar to Travolta in Saturday Night Fever. How could you not? Right? Yeah, I get it. I get it. Can I show the signs on the table in the melanated? Sure, I can. There we go. If it'll focus. Let me get on his face because it always does better when I do that first, usually. Don't prove me wrong. Don't make me a liar. There we go. So the one's a little more blended into the table in this particular one, I think. So Manny says, even though this card exhibits all the elements, it feels more fire and air to me in the Rider-Waite-Smith. Interesting. So not fire or not air and earth, even though he's pointed down, but fire because of the manifestation of the magic, maybe? Interesting. Let's see here. Hi, Justin. Nice to see you. Susie, pointing where I grew up is strong body language. That pointing the index finger is a powerful emphasis. Where you grew up. Well, that's interesting. Love to hear more about that if you feel like sharing. Regina Tarot, hi. Staying alive is going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the day now, right? Da, da, da. I mean, yeah, it'll bring it up for you. Jonathan, the four suits of tarot are seen as the basic elements that are the building blocks used in the creation of everything in the world, which is why the tarot is so perfect to represent, right, everything in our lives that we could potentially experience. Simon says the red robe, so getting into those symbols, positive side, passion, will, lifeblood to live with worthwhile goals, negative, base motives, ego, yes, right? So are we looking at our ultimate guide to the Rider-Waite-Smith with all the pointing out of the different symbols? Let's see, what else does this one have to say? This can be really great at pointing out some of the different symbols. Talks about, oh yeah, you mentioned the serpentine girdle, the table with the markings. Oh yeah, Simon's been bringing it for us. I really appreciate that, actually. So one of the things too is, right, the shape of this particular wand that he's holding up. So Simon, if you want to plop that in the chat if you feel like it. If not, I can come back and grab that as well. I'm going to catch some of the chat here. Let's see. Hi, Emily. It's okay. Nice to see you. Dinner with family is important. So Simon said the white robe, positive, is innocence, lack of premeditation. Negative, gullibility, having to start over time and again. And yes, it is your job. I just never want you to feel pressured to do it. I want you to do it because you enjoy it. And then Elle was ready to dive in and take your place when you were not able to join us. Okay, let's see. Am I missing? Oh, the double-ended candle or wand. Yeah, that's one of the things that I've always found really interesting is, you know, the two-ended wands. And I don't know all the different meanings that can be associated with that necessarily. So any other thoughts? What about all these flowers, right? So we also have all the different flowers. Does it talk about those in the book? Why doesn't it talk about the flowers in the book? There's so many. Oh, there they are. Roses and lilies. So the rose garden, positive, a promise of happiness and success and transforming the earth into a garden. Negative, insisting on one's rights, isolation, loneliness. Ooh, getting a little bit entitled there, aren't we? Chris says, I think his wand is the same as the two the dancer holds in the wheel card. It is. Yes, very same wand. Oh, that's right. So I wanted to read, while Simon's pulling that about the wand, I wanted to read from this Melanated Classic book as well. Elle keeps telling me how good it is, and I haven't actually dove into it yet. So the wand, one wand, two ends. The wand is a parable. We can separate things and then recombine them in another way. Also, individuality and uniqueness. Ooh, I like that. Where are the overhead flowers growing from? Heaven? I don't know. I guess I've always just pictured that these are vines growing up. I never thought about that. Yep, they're just coming out of the clear blue sky, or the clear yellow sky in this particular case. Oh, psychically yours, when I first started tarot, I thought that was a double-ended candle. Oh, that's interesting. So burning the candle at both ends, perhaps? A little bit of exhaustion happening there. So here in the Melanated Classic Tarot, it says the Magician card represents the planet Mercury, which influences mental analysis, instantaneous communication from, oh, somebody read this earlier. Was that you, Elle, or was that Jonathan? Who read that? From texting to telepathy, epiphanies, and aha moments. Maybe that was you, Elle. Yes. Okay, so you already read that for me. So the tools are the wand of spirit, the cup of feelings, the sword of speaking and thinking, and a pentacle of tangible reality, such as time or money. He uses his tools to transform people and situations spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. He follows fools and babies because they need his tools. Oh, interesting. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Al. I didn't realize you had already done that. Let's see. The minors are the best. Quarts and majors are pretty short in the book. I mean, really, considering how much you can dive into, right? Waterchild Tarot. I've always imagined this magician in an apothecary, dried herbs hanging from the ceiling. Yeah, it's like, it looks like he's outside. And, you know, I guess I've always seen like something like in the Four of Wands, right? And the flowers are maybe hanging down from a structure like that. And he's sort of under that. I guess that's what I always thought, but I never really thought about where else they might be coming from. Kimberly says it looks like a selenite wand. It does, doesn't it? And T-Cat says it looks like a candle, maybe to show your talent and shine for the world. Yes. Sorry, I know I keep like angling these. My camera angle, I think, is a little funny this week. I switch up where I'm at all the time. Oh, Neem. Hi, Neem. Spiritual Tarot, creative, focused intention. Oh, were you aiming that at Spiritual Tarot? Let's see here. Jonathan. Oh, I'm back. Had to get my coffee. Feeling your Three of Cups from last night. Yes. Let's see. Okay. You guys ready for an alternative card? Shall we start answering some questions? I think we're moving along at a pretty normal clip here today. Okay, let me put that down there. This first 30 minutes always goes by so fast. All right, let me get some tea. All right, as always, I randomly select 5 decks from my collection that are RWS themed or inspired, or at least can relate to it in some way, that I randomly draw the night or two before and then make sure, usually, are in order. And then I kind of pre-stack them so I'm not influenced by the questions and which decks I pull. So let's see. Gracia says, Benabel explained that the wand is shaped according to the instructions to make a wand by Eliphas Levi. It doesn't have all the details because only the magician is allowed to see his or her wand. It's kind of like how each wand in Harry Potter is unique. Is it like that? All right. So the first deck that I have this week, did I get your wand? Yes, I think I did, Simon. I mean, there is a chance I missed it. Yes. I did read out about both ends of the wands. Thank you for getting that for me. And then I read a little bit out of the Melanated Classic. All right, so the Danilov Tarot, which does not come with a guidebook, has been something that is so outside my aesthetic. But for whatever reason, when I saw it, I was completely intrigued by it. What the heck? Okay, don't have to go that far into the deck for the Magician now, do I? Oh no, this one's going to be interesting to dive into. Oh, okay, let's start. We're starting off fun with this one. This is meaty. Okay, wait, let me put this deck over here too. Okay, here is our Magician. So these are the backs, by the way, for those who have not seen it. Really different from, like I said, my usual. Let's take a look at what we got going on with this guy. Look at that mask. So we still have the lemniscate here. We have a wand. We don't have so much a pentacle as more of like a sphere there on the table. What is that? So that symbol right there. That very ornate tablecloth. Lots going on with this guy. So Jackie immediately sees 2 faces. This guy definitely has more of a dodgy character feel about him, says Chris. This is the Tarot by Alexander Danilov. I probably didn't show the box. Sorry. This one here. This is, I think this is, yeah, this is the 4th edition and a newer addition to my collection. So this is the first time it's made an appearance in Tarot Playdate. Jonathan says the limnus get above his head suggests his mind works differently than that of normal people. He can think about complicated issues of problems and come to solutions easily. Zane sees total Gemini energy, right? With kind of those 2 faces and 2 different sides. And what's interesting to me is this mask looks very feminine to me. And I don't know if you guys would agree. I mean, it can be very gender neutral, but it feels like it balances out his energy. He's got a bit of a smarmy look on his face, doesn't he? Susie says, liking his balance tools. Waterchild Tarot says, this is bringing in the entertainer, trickster, performer energy. Yes, Mindy, I know you love this deck. You showing it here, and in fact, posting pictures in Tarot Play, it was like, oh, I can't even wait any longer. I have to get this deck. Oh, Robin, you got this one? Ooh, I hope you like it. Somehow I think you will. I feel like you'll like this one. Julie Daniels, hi Julie, says that looks like a Mason's tool. Which one? Which one looks like what? Not the one, I'm guessing. Which tool are you referring to? Gracia says, definitely see the power. Love the balance with the femme and the masculine. Yes, me too. Pal's Tarot Tent, the Fool plays his role, right? This time he has taken plating and styling his beard, right? the time he has taken to do that, right? I mean, he's serious. Like, he wants to present his best self to the world, right? Is that a table or his knees? Well, to me, it feels like he's standing behind the table. So it looks like here too. Now, this is really interesting. So we do still see the Ouroboros here, the snake belt. He's got this kind of vest on. So it looks like he could either be sitting at the table or he's got that cloth kind of wrapped around his waist, doesn't it? Oh, his left, my right. Here, this thing? Does that look like a Mason tool? Is that what you said? Let me pull that real close. What are you? Okay, here we go. Oh, I've never seen that symbol before. Let's see. I'm intrigued by the braided beard. I need to think about the symbolism behind that, says Robin. T-Cat says the mask and the board game in his lap really suggest he being more sly and strategic than the RWS magician. I mean, very, very different vibes to these two, I think. Elle says the ends are too pointy, but his scarf belt is over the waist table. Interesting, right? Alpha and Omega, says Jackie. Oh, is that the signs right here? Patrice says the inside of his cape looks like a star-filled sky. Yes, it does, which kind of, to me, is a bit reminiscent of the High Priestess, right? And kind of the magic behind her. Let's see. It's an engineer's measure tool, says Julie here. Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. We have Neiman Mendy failing a mission, but gaining perspective. I'm not quite sure on what. So does he, so I think the 2 faces, Alpha and Omega. Oh, okay. All right. And then what's this coming out like at the top? Is that just like kind of a feather in his cap, literally? Like, what is that? Just very, like it's like a turban style here. Very adorned, isn't it? Yeah. You know, sometimes I see the magician as sort of like the street magician, right? And this guy does not seem like that at all. That is how Alexander Dunlop signs his art, is the form of his initials. Oh, this is? Okay, you guys keep teaching me new things every time I look at the chat. Is he giving side eye to the mask? He might be. Actually, he looks like he's almost looking down. Let's see. No, not down. Yeah, he could be. He's like, okay. Okay, that's interesting to know that that's on all of his cards somewhere. I just pulled out the High Priestess just to see if I could find it. Yeah, that one's hiding. Okay, we won't try to play that game. You can't put a thought like that in my head. I start needing to go solve the puzzle, right? Jonathan says the as above, so below concept states that all levels of creation are interconnected. The spiritual, mental, and physical worlds are one. I get that from the star fields on his cloak. Oh, I like that. It's okay, Mindy. I'll go play with that later. Now you've given me something to do with the rest of my day. All right. Marchetti also sneaks in a CM in all his cards. Ooh, that's a fun game to play. So shall we try to answer our first question for the week? So from Psychically Yours, we have, how does spirit let us know we're on the right track? That's a really interesting question to answer with this card. So this is the tarot by Alexander Daniloff, or I call it the Daniloff Tarot TCAT, if that helps. These are the backs. Yes, 4th edition. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Jana. Oh, Mindy, I had to email him about it. I thought it was some sort of deep symbology. Oh, that was very, very go-getter of you. All right, so how does spirit let us know we're on the right track? Synchronicities, says Emily. When we remove the mask, we can better see that we're on the right track, right? Or maybe by letting us know that we do have all the things that we need and the tools that we need. We don't have to necessarily go searching very far to accomplish what it is we need to accomplish or to put together what we need to put together. Jonathan, what the magician represents is the conscious aspect of the mind. He is fully conscious of actions. He is fully conscious of his actions, understanding what he does and why. Yeah, I mean, he's certainly not being arbitrary, I don't think by any means. Sarah Waterchild Tarot says, by providing the tools we need. Exactly, right? Or letting us know that we already have them, right? Anybody else have thoughts on this? How does spirit let us know we're on the right track, right? Susie says that calm that overcomes us, right? When you feel confident in what you're doing, you're like, oh, I got this, right? You know, it's when we don't have that self-doubt and we have that feeling of empowerment and the fact that we do have the ability to affect our future, right? Manifest our desires, whatever that might look like. Jonathan, by reminding us that we have all the tools we need in the moment. It definitely seems to be the prevailing thought on how we would answer that question with this particular card. All right, shall we look at another one? That was kind of a fun, different one. Okay, so now we're going to go a little bit more classic here, probably a little bit closer to the RWS. But of course, the minute I go to pull out the card, I completely forget what it looks like. But I have my handy dandy Morgan Greer Tarot, my well-loved. This tech box is just never going to survive. All right, let's see what we've got here for the magician. All right, this day's pretty classic to our Rider-Waite-Smith. Let me see if anybody else, before I show this. Chris said, I feel like spirit is being mischievous and distracting us from the fact that we have all the tools. So maybe spirit's messages are a bit more subtle in this case. Ooh, I like that different way of looking at that. Ancient voices, hello. Thoughts become actions and our actions present our thoughts to the outside. Yes. Okay, so here is our magician from the Morgan Greer. Does he make you think of anything different? Okay, let me see if I can get some focus on his 70s stash, which is always good. Now, he's got the lemniscate twice. He looks like he's standing in a castle. The Ouroboros is a bit more subtle in this one again, but I can still see it. I love the flowers in this deck. I really like the shape that the tools are in on the table with the wand and the sword crisscrossing. And then we have the cup and the pentacle. What do y'all think? He looks like a young Omar Sharif. I don't know if I know who that is. I probably would recognize him when I saw him. It's taking everything that I can not to go, well, this is the deck of porn stashes. Like, we know this, right? And he's got a good one. Yeah, he's very representative of this deck. Ancient Voices says this is one of my fave magician images. I mean, this deck is just one of my favorites anyway. It does look like perhaps a glass of wine. Well, that's a very full glass of wine, right? It almost looks like tomato soup in that wine, or in that cup. The cliff behind him makes me think of the cosmic egg. See, now I don't see a cliff. I see like tower walls. That's interesting. I still need to know who Arma Sharif is. I'll write that down for me so I can Google it later, pretty please. So do you feel any kind of different energy? To me, the energy is really very similar to our original images, right? I mean, what I love about the Morgan Greer is it just takes you a little bit closer to them, right? It's like you get a little bit more up close, personal. Oh, you see tower walls now. It was a little out of focus when you said clap. Okay, but that's interesting, right? When you soften your vision and then you see something different. I still love that. Thank you, Elle, my little writer downer. Let's see. Kathy says, no, he's an actor from the 60s. Simply gorgeous. All right. I will. I'm totally Googling him later. And Dr. Zhivago. Got it. Emily says, yes, I think this card feels more personal and approachable. Another deck I love, says Mendy. Oh, I'm glad I'm bringing you some cards you'd like to see this week. When my dad was younger, people said he looked like Omar Sharif. Oh, interesting. So now I can put a little bit of a picture of your father into my head, Sandra. So if you soften, does it look like a cliff? Right? If I pull it far, far away, right? I don't, is there anything in particular? So he's still got, now you can barely see it, but he still is pointing down to the ground here, right? You know, it's always interesting too, because even though he's holding that wand, I always picture this hand with his, I see this thing happening, right? But it's not really, but I do feel like I see that. Does this foretell of a tower card in our future? Ooh, maybe next week. You never do know, do you? What was our question? I haven't asked it yet, but I'm about to. Let's see. Mindy says, what always stands out to me on this particular card is that he's shrouded with his cape hood up. It feels more mysterious. That's, you know what? Maybe that's exactly what it is that makes him feel more mysterious to me too, is the fact that he has this hood of his cape over him. Lawrence of Arabia. Okay, now this guy's starting to sound familiar to me. Think I know who you're talking about. And Nick and Funny Girl. I haven't seen Funny Girl in ages. Funny Girl, is that the one with Barbara Streisand? All right, so let's answer another question, shall we? So this was from Amy. It's Sage Advice Shared. I don't know if you're still here, Amy. How can we become more introspective rather than venting to family and friends? So right away, that sort of makes me think, her husband? Okay. Oh, in the movie. Got it. Okay, so how can we be more introspective rather than venting to family and friends? And to me, the thought that immediately comes to mind is like, take control of the situation, right? A lot of times we can spend times venting and expressing frustration, which is sometimes good. Sometimes we need to get things off of our chest, bounce ideas off of, but when those things become non-productive, that's when we start to fall into perhaps unhealthy patterns, right? So if we take control and figure out, okay, what does it do or learn, right? Ooh, I like it. Oh no, am I buffering? I'll just wait until you tell me I'm back. Let's see here. Am I back? Can anyone see me in the chat? Okay. Am I back? I always look great buffering. Oh, I bet I get some good facial expressions going on sometimes. All right. It's funny because I watch like the viewer count go way down as everybody's like refreshing to get me back. I'm like, oh, that's another clue that I have gone away. Oh. Still buffering for Jilly. Hit refresh, Julie. Let me know if I'm back. Okay. I really appreciate, at least the chat goes, and so I can see that I'm buffering. Okay, I felt like I was sharing some really profound thoughts, but now it's gone. All right, Emily was saying, before we start buffering, connect to source, balance connection to spirit with being grounded in reality. Yes, and then somebody said, okay, there is that circle. Thanks for coming back, everyone. Oh, and then right after Emily said that, so then Robin had said, put up a wall between yourself and your family and friends when it comes to thoughts you need to focus on. And I was like, yeah, sequester yourself away so you can really focus and concentrate. So I thought that was actually a really good answer to that as well. Hi, Chantal. Nice to see you. Let's see, Chris says, cards on the table, explore ourselves, determine what issues we have, and then take action to address these in a healthy way, rather than let them build to a point where we explode and vent them all over people, right? TCAT, I so knew this deck would come up. These mustaches are legendary. Are they not, right? They do add a touch of softness. So I don't know if we lost Sage Advice shared, but hopefully we answered the question. I feel like those were some good answers. And I want to keep things moving in case I buffer again, because goodness. Jonathan says, focus on the solution you can create instead of the problem, right? So a lot of times we get really hung up on just complaining about the problem. I tend to be a very, I want to fix it. And sometimes I have to be careful. And when I do have people that need to vent to me, I also have to be really careful not to go straight into fix-it mode. You know, there's a balance there, right? Emily said, identifying the boundaries that we need and where we might need to see certain people less and honor our boundaries, right? So we have to watch out for those energy vampires as well and protect ourselves in that way. All right. The next deck we have, we're going for something a little different. The Textured Tarot. I have missed this deck. I haven't looked at it in a while. I might pull the book out on this one because you just never know. All right. This is a fun magician. And it's also, it's a she. We have a she magician. All right. Not everybody loves collage decks, but let's just give this a go, shall we? So here she has a wand. Doesn't quite have the same double sides. I love the top hat. Ooh, is that like a... I've never noticed that before. Looks like a playing card there. Ace of Wands, perhaps. She has all the tools on the table. What do you think? Jonathan says, looks like a stage magician. Being a fixer is hard to rein in sometimes, Julie. That is very, very true. So what do you think when you see her? I love like the patchwork style of what she's wearing. So she definitely, and then maybe it's like the stage magician. She feels less, I don't know. She feels more approachable in some ways, but she also looks very powerful. There's a lot going on there. I really like the blue table. What is on the table too? I'm going to see if I can, you can't really tell. I was thinking maybe there was a symbol. Does it look like she's playing dress up a little bit in this outfit? Love the boots, says Kathy. Yeah, the Ace of Diamonds in her pocket. Gracia likes it. Yeah, I like that she has that card in her pocket, right? It's like instead of the ace up her sleeve, it's in her pocket. You can see it. You know she's got it, right? Yeah, she's a little fierce. Reminds me of child dressed up in old family robes. I can see that, Emily. Looks strong, says Julie. Oh, catch-up name is probably all the buffering. Sorry about that if you hear me say this. Water Child Tarot. She seems disarming to me, like she'd be able to charm you while stealing your watch, right? Yeah, careful where you look with this one. Yes, those are some boots, right? I didn't even focus that much on the boots, right? But yeah, those are some good boots. Makes me think of the idea being as if rather than acting as if, right? So actually becoming what it is you want to portray rather than just pretending. Is that what you mean? To manifest desires, Jonathan says instead of 1 or 2 fingers pointed down, her whole hand is grasping at the earth. Yeah, I noticed that too with her hand positions. Like all the fingers are pointed downward. Al says they've got snow boots on, which is interesting compared to the original Flowers and Sunny, right? When we look at, say, this version, snow would wipe those plants out. A nod to the Ouroboros endings bringing new beginnings. Yes, she feels the power, says Kathy. I feel the power. Is that a thing? CNC Music Factory? Is that what just popped into my head? Oh no. Loving her top hat. I love the top hat with the Ouroboros. So let's see what Lisa McLaughlin says about this particular card. A channel for energy, power of the mind, conscious creation, taking action, passion with focus, mastery over self and circumstance, discovery of untapped resources, transformation of the mundane into the extraordinary, physical manifestation on the earthly plane, learning to conduct the elements of earth, spirit, emotion, intellect, and materials to bring life and energy, craftsmanship, a bridge between the inner and outer you. Okay, so not so much addressing, I guess I don't really remember looking much at this guidebook. I guess I always just get caught up in the images of this one. I've got the power. She might be young, but she's as powerful as she believes herself to be, says Emily. Oh, by Snap. Okay, got it. Okay, so we have another question. So question number 3 from John. This is our third book, right? Yes. Okay. Yes. Losing track. I clearly have not got the power of retention at the moment. Jonathan, how can we lean into change? Make it work for us. So this is a very literal way to answer that question, isn't it? How can we lean into change and make it work for us? By leaning into change and making it work for us is immediately what comes to mind for me, right? Now everybody's got earworms. Sorry about that. If only I had like my Google or my Alexa in here and I could start just, oh, of course, then we'd probably have copyright problems, wouldn't we? So, but yeah, so by taking control, right, and grabbing those tools that we have at our disposal, so that we are guiding the change rather than letting the change happen to us, right? Embracing that power that we have. I'm answering a question here. I don't know about the rest of y'all. Tells Tarot 10 says dress the part. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now I've got my song choice sorted for, well, actually somebody else brought the song in, I guess, but see it, feel it, be it, says Kathy, right? We have some nostalgia happening here with that particular song. Did I answer? Let's see. Elle says, what was the question? Well, I know you're all distracted by music, but that's okay. Jonathan asked, how can we lean into change and make it work for us? And I said, by leaning into change and making it work for us. I know that's kind of a cheat, but really, isn't that what this card says? It's almost like he answered the question when he asked it. What do you think, Jonathan, if you are still here after all the buffering? Did we get Jonathan back after the buffering? Oh, yeah. He's there. He's LOLing at the song. Okay, I was just checking. Oh, he was typing. The magician represents taking things into a new direction. He advises you to examine the tools you have before you, your skills, talents, resources, and see how you use them regarding your situation. Or you could go Goodwill shopping, as Pal's Tarot 10 suggests. Right? Right? I feel like those are some good answers to this one. I feel like the magician is answering these so easily, we don't have to spend too much time on them. Robin says, I see a definite earth material connection in this card with the top hat, the 5 fingers pointed down, and the Ace of Diamonds, pentacles over the heart. Yes, I see where you're going with that, Robin, for sure. T-Cat, to take that change seriously and to commit to it. With this card, you get a lot of potential to make that change work for you. Yeah, this to me feels like a very positive outlook on whatever that change is, that you really will be able to find your own personal power with it, right? Chris says, go with the flow, dance along with the change and put some attitude into your dance moves. Just Don't just go with the change, be the change, right? Who was it earlier said, be it, feel it, something? I remember it. I'm not quoting it right. Bring it back for me so I didn't say it right, right? You know what I'm saying, right? When she or he appears in the reading, it's suggested that you'll need to be the leader, take control over the situation, and communicate. Emily says, loosen up, recognize triggers, and make conscious changes. Small habitual changes to create new neural pathways and make huge real life changes, right? Because we're in the majors too, a lot of times these are important changes, right? These changes that maybe even initially don't seem like a big deal may have a profound impact on our lives. L, you're not perhaps in control of the change, but in control of how you react and respond to it. Also, very good point, right? Sometimes you don't get to choose what happens, but you can choose how you react to it. I'm always a believer in that for sure. Neem says, the magician to me is one of the all elemental cards. Use what you have to get what you want, but be strategic. You may not need all at this time to accomplish, but you have all that you need. Ooh, I like that too. All right. Those are some great additions there at the end. Love that. All right. Moving on to our fourth. So we're going to get a little more, I think we're going to lean into a little bit more feminine energy, probably like we did with that magician, with the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann. And let's see what we've got here. I always start so organized. I'll leave her book out too, because I mean, okay, this one. Whew. All right, this is gonna take some thinking, I think, for me. What do we think of this magician? Tell me your thoughts. Lots of bold, beautiful colors. Boy, it's all going as above, isn't it? 4 different colored spheres on the table. It is different, this one. This is the most different I think we've had so far. Neem says, I don't like the Muse as much as I hoped I would. I liked it better than I thought I would. I kind of got it on a whim. I wasn't called to it at all when it was in Kickstarter pre-order phase. And then when it got released on Hay House, I thought, what the heck? And I ended up getting some really profound readings with this deck. She looks like Taylor Swift. I guess she kind of does. Right? I mean, she's got that. Okay, that's funny. Not my cup of tea, says Julie. Okay, focus. Susie says, life force to be reckoned with, question mark. Is she being beamed up into a UFO? Yeah, I think the one thing that I miss about this particular card is bringing that energy down and directing it to the earth, right? We're missing that piece, right? It's all directed upward. Which I'm not quite sure how that really changes the energy, but it's definitely changing the energy. Oh, but see, but wait, Jonathan, thank you. Is she pulling the energy down and releasing it into the ground? Is the energy moving through her whole body rather than just her fingertips? I don't know if that's what you were saying, but that's what I picked up from what you were saying. Let's see what else. Well, the below surely comes to mind. Oh, okay. I do have the guidebook here. I thought it might be helpful to read this one. Sunrise, sunset, wave light. Okay. Mindy's not a fan. I don't think I'm surprised by that either, Mindy. This feels pretty abstract. The figure reminds me of the figure in the Philarcos Tarot Tower card, perhaps what the mage would become if reversed. Interesting. Yeah, it does remind me of that. I love that tower card, though. I think it's so pretty. Jonathan says, yes, I was seeing the energy pulling down through her crown chakra and going through her body and down into the earth. Jackie says, looks like she's underwater under a jellyfish. Okay. Up the nostrils? I don't know what you're saying. Emily, oh, I see the energy traveling. Yes, it's a literal depiction of that energetic flow and connection to source and earth. Let's see what Miss Chris Ann has to say here. She looks like a channel from the above to the below, right? So rather than just But so rather than her controlling and directing it, she's almost like letting it move through her. Do we kind of see it like that? I am not saying that word, L. I have been really good and not had any major slip of the tongues yet. Slips of the tongue. Yeah, close enough. So let's see. Reaching up, the magician weaves and spins her reality into form. With magic from the ethers and determination in hand, she wields all the potential of the cosmos. She reminds you that you too have all you need to bring your desires into form. The four elements support this journey. So she steps onto the strings of her magic loom to bring its essence into reality. With sound heart and thought vibration, she promises to weave a better world. A divine luminescent substance forms between her hands. It always comes so quickly when her intention is to create something healing for others, something transcendent and totally rooted in love. She invites you to welcome a state of trance in order to tap into the liminal spaces of your creative potential, to feel and to know your desire and your end goal, and to draw down all the energetic materia to make it real. Give it form, pattern, color, space, and so it is us. Okay, that's beautiful. I mean, everybody was laughing at Elle and me from last week, but I thought that was really cool. So Patrice has more of a passive flow of energy through her. Well, the book makes it sound like she's certainly manifesting that energy, doesn't it? Shall we answer the fourth question? So I can get you guys to the final deck, which who knows what that card is going to be. So from Inked Witchy Girl, who I don't know if we've still got Inked Witchy Girl with us, but how can we learn to do more self-care? Ooh, how can we learn to do more self-care? I almost feel like this card is perfect to answer that particular question, right? Julie says, I don't get that message from the image. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I kind of did. Jonathan says that confirms my thoughts. See, for me, when I think about now, Inked Witchy Girl's question, how can we learn to do more self-care? You know, to me, it's about drawing that power into us, right? And really feeling the energy and the flow and our connection with spirit, with earth, right? And really being grounded in our power. And just as I was saying that, I see head popped up with by being in our own power. Exactly, right? Still, Paul's Tarot Tent saying sunlight directed up the nostrils. I still don't know what you mean by that. Robin says, embrace the magic and the energy and the love of the universe and let it flow through you. Yes. Emily says, often spell work and manifestation feels like a delicate balance between allowing the universe to create whilst also taking control of what we can. Yes. Not reacting on everything. Pick your battles, says Chantal. Jonathan says, you're asked to fully examine the situation, understand what it is that's going on, and figure out your motives. Yes. Did I get see. Robin said, embrace the magic and energy and the love of the universe and let it flow through you. Don't know if I said that already, but if I didn't, we've read it again, or we've read it. I like that. What do you think, Inked Witchy Girl? Kathy, recognizing the power we have and utilizing it to love ourselves, right? Allowing ourselves to really feel it. I think that's important for self-care, right? Is really allowing ourselves to tap into our full potential and recognize that it's there and feel it. Jonathan S says, are you dealing with reality or is it just an illusion? So how does that answer the question by asking those questions, just out of curiosity? Or are you just talking about the card in general, which is totally fair as well. All right, so let me set that book over there. And I will get us our fifth and final card unless anybody else has any final thoughts on that. Oh, Elle did. With less energy from below or source, it's like the idea of self-care would seem like too much effort. But the results of doing some self-care can be immense. It's worth the extra effort. Ooh, I like that. So being able to reach up and grab it, even though it feels like it's not quite as readily available, maybe something like that. Interesting. Okay. I don't know how I almost missed that whole paragraph above what Jonathan said. All right, my last deck is an eclectic compilation deck because I have the 78 Tarot Elemental, Tarot of the Natural. And let's see what we've got here for the magician and who did it. Okay, so we have, ooh, all right, this is a fiery magician. Lots and lots going on here. So this is by, looks like Raven Falon, maybe? I got really busted by a viewer when I unboxed this deck because I pronounced so many of the artist names wrong, so I apologize in advance. But what do you think of this one? Let's take a close look. Those eyes, holy moly, that fiery hair. Lots. My camera is like, what is going on here? Talk about manifesting some energy. Yeah, this one packs a punch, I would say. Yeah, very fiery, right? And I honestly don't know if that's a woman or not, or a man or non-binary, it doesn't really matter. But I just love the intensity of this person's expression and what is being made to happen, right? Neem says she's bringing it and you will feel it. This looks like a horror movie. So Chantal, is it the eyes? Is it those scary, intense eyes? She has got the power, it looks like, Jackie. Yeah. Love the colors, said Jackie. Simon, wow. Oh, this is the artist that did the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Oh, thank you for that. I have that deck, but I have not worked with it yet. Yeah, definitely a goddess, Chris, right? If you see this like that. Yeah, I love this card. So let's see what the artist has to say about this particular card, and we will answer our final question before we get into our reversals and our activity. And I set you free. Reminds me of Serena from tennis with Serena Williams. Oh, interesting. All right, so the artist's interpretation. To me, the magician represents opportunities and potential, a powerful reminder that when we step into our own power and draw strength from our connection with the elements, there's nothing we cannot accomplish. And this was the feeling I wanted to create with my image. A strong, energetic woman, okay, it's intended to be a woman, drawing upon her own power and the power of the elements. I wanted her to be the focus of the image, no distractions in the background, a character who will grab you in a reading and demand your attention from the moment you draw this card. I say mission accomplished with this. I think this is a fantastic magician card. Let's see. Jonathan says it's like he's pulling you down from the source and manifesting you into the material world. T-Cat, she's literally holding all that power and looking at us like she's already set her intention onto something. What's in her hand? So it looks like initials, but I don't know. Focus. It must be a sigil of some kind, right? It looks like the R. Oh, it's the R and the P for the artist. Okay, let me get the focus. Focus. Do we have it? It's kind of hard to see because my camera doesn't want to focus. Let me get on the words. Come on. This is too fiery for my camera. I don't know if you can see it, but in front, oh, there it goes. In front is the R, and then this is the P, right? So for Raven, Falon, something like that. She reminds me of Kali Oya Fumanja, the powerful goddess, is Kathy. Yeah. Artist initials. She looks really powerful, says Chantal. Okay, so how would you answer the question? This one was from Becca. How can we spread joy this week? Wow, by making some magic and really manifesting it out into the world. This is a time to actively manifest, create, and share with the world joy, right? This isn't a passive card. Let's see, Elle says, oh, I love that. From the artist, this lush card was born. How very fitting for the magician card. Very true. Neem says, this card really shows your power. Energy is on 100, and even in wielding, it's still in her control. It's not wild energy, it's focused. Yes. Manifest the joy you want to see in the world, right? Make it happen. Be the change, right? We often say, if you want to see change in the world, you have to be and embody that change, right? Let's see. Did I see or miss anything? A sigil? Yeah, it does. It did look like a sigil at first, didn't it? So how else would you guys, pay it forward, said Jackie, right? And with intensity and intention, I think, right? It's, sometimes it's easy to just kind of go la la la, kind of do our own thing and be joyful, but to really project that outward takes a bit more intention, doesn't it? Neem says, let joy be your focus. It will emanate from you to all those who you are in contact with. They will feel your joy making them joyous, like a sneeze. It's contagious, or a yawn, right? I mean, oh my goodness. Right? If I yawned right now, I bet 3/4 of you would yawn. So feel my joy. I'm manifesting joy out to all of you, right? I don't know if we still have Becca. She might have had to walk the dogs, but any other thoughts? So before we go, we got to do 2 more things. So don't leave me yet. We want to talk about when the magician is reversed, or if you don't read reversals, perhaps in a blocked or challenge position. And then I still have an activity, although nobody's been posting activities either, myself included. As always, I call myself out just like everyone else. Maybe we'll have a good activity for the magician. We'll have to see. T-Cat said, sometimes spreading joy has to come from the decision. We often wait that something gets us in the mood of joyness, but at times you have to be the one to start it, right? You literally have to create it, especially when it's harder to sometimes. Like you have to work that much harder to actually find a way to find the joy, experiencing the joy, change your position, change what you're doing, whatever it might be. So we see this in a blocked or challenge position. So earlier we had a couple of thoughts, where, okay, that might be where we get more of the trickster or the deception, or somebody perhaps abusing their position, right? And maybe using their magic not for good, right? Or their power. Let me see what while you guys are bringing some ideas. Kathy says, sing that brings joy to the singer and spreads to those around you. Oh, sing, because that brings joy. Yes, right? Sharing of music is always a good way. No, I don't want to do a relationship spread. No, thanks. Jen says, channeling your power in the wrong way, right? Let's see here. This guy says too, lacking the skills or the resources needed. Intention without action. So having all of the intention to do all these great things, but not actually making it happen. Ooh, I fall victim to that many times. I have brilliant ideas and goals and things I want to manifest, and then I don't necessarily always put the action behind those intentions, and therefore those things don't manifest for me. Robin says, when I see this upside down, I'm asked, where's your focus? The direction in the hand says it for me, right? Because now we've got our hands going the wrong way, right? Is the energy being directed away from where we want it? Jonathan says, reverse, that magician can represent trickery, manipulation, illusions, and sleight of hand. It can also represent lack of knowledge and poor training. I'm prepared, says Pal's Tarot Tech. The world keeps spinning. Even though he's upside down, he's still a conduit of energy. His wand is still doing what it does. Life keeps going whether you're on board with it or not, right? But maybe you're not able to take as much control over the change that's happening, and maybe you become less in control of it. Jen says, other people draining your energy. Patrice, not using your energy and allowing it to be drained from you, right? So you two were right on point there. T-Cat, you may not know your true power or don't know how to manifest it. You got to get clear what you want and be proactive about it. Jonathan, as he is represented by Hermes, the god of thieves, that magician gets the reputation of being like a used car salesman or salesperson. Also, he can steal from you. Manifest without thought, says Kathy. Chris says, a show-off who will manipulate people, a con man. His actions will have the effect of destroying things, reverse of the as above, so below creation of the upright counterpart. Yes. Let's see. Susie says, I do see this reverse magician as an illusionist that can easily flip around. As he has a way with words, he will manage to convince you that you'd said he could have whatever it was he'd swiped from you, right? Let's see, anything else? No, my app doesn't have anything else. You guys are all bringing it. All right, we may end just on time here. Ooh, a narcissist. Yeah, the magician reversed. I definitely see that, Mindy. Yeah, I can think of one or two of those. All right, so if you want to participate in the activity for the week and challenge yourself or embrace further the magician, let's see what activity we have for you. And this one shall be easy to find. This is a short one, so you don't have to stick around too long. And I will, as I always do, paste it in the description box below this video. And I will also put it in the Tarot Playdate Facebook group. If you haven't joined us yet, jump on in there because I love to see people post their version of the card from other decks throughout the week, any results of the activities that they do, etc. Also, I don't know if anybody's still playing with this. Some people still ask me to keep it out. Simon wants me to chuck it in the bin. But on page 14, there is a 20-question quiz about the tarot. This might be fun. I don't know what it has to do with the magician. I never do understand the correspondence of the card, but this is like a quiz. Like, what are the names of each of the suits in the minor arcana? That one's easy. Ooh, but is the King of Swords sitting or standing? This one's easy. But if you are new to tarot, this could be a fun exercise to do to challenge yourself. But our activity that we came up with before Playdate started is incorporate more magic. So to connect with the magician this week, incorporate a bit more magic into a reading with your deck. Add an element or multiple elements into your reading. Runes, journey tokens, tea leaves, an oracle deck, etc. So bring a little something extra to the table. Bring in an additional tool when you do a reading. And some people do that all the time, but for others that might be new, or maybe if that's something that you do, shake it up, incorporate something different. How did that impact your reading? So did having more tools and bringing in more elements change your reading? And whether that's a positive or negative experience, at least you'll learn something, right? All right, my friends, so that is pretty much it for today's Tarot Playdate. This was a lot of fun, as always. I learned a lot about the magician. And let's see, did I miss any final comments? We don't like those. Let's see, I don't know what you said you don't like. Probably the book. I don't know. Throw them in the bin. Thank you, Julie. I will go check out and see Omar Farish. Farish, is that right? Simon put the power and played it. Oh, I cannot wait to go check out the Facebook group. This will be fun. All right, lots of hugs to everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you next week, hearing how the magician played out for you, and seeing what card we get next. Have a great rest of your day. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Oh, and thanks to my moderators who keep things going. I never say thank you, and I thank you very, very much and appreciate all that you do. All right, talk to y'all later.